Hey, welcome to all. We are back with you again, and we are going to be covering some reading practice. Lesson 11, basic reading practice. This will be focusing on the letters that we have just learned, the consonants, and that would be the Tzade, the Qof, and the Resh, among other consonants that you already know. Let's try our hand at reading this practice page, and I also have a sheet you can print out that has the exact same thing. If you'd like to print it out and just whatever, mark it up, you could maybe circle, this is an idea. You could try circling the things you're not sure about or that you're kind of sketchy on that you need to review. How about that? Mark those things up and see if you can watch the previous video or videos, refer back to other things that you might have forgotten or missed along the way. See if you can resolve those for this week's homework, or I shouldn't say this week's homework, this session of homework. Some people will do like one of these a week, and if you really want to expedite the process, some people would be doing it like one every day or two. That would be a more intensive regimen. So let's try reading this together. This would be tsach, tse. Note that the aleph is silent here. Tzul, tsut. It's kibbutz, says u, tsut. Okay, this actually has a final form, so we have two tzades. We have tzade, normal tzade, and then tzade sofi, final form tzade, in the same word, just to give you practice kind of comparing them side by side, what they look like in a real life setting. This would be pronounced tsates, tsates. Again, most of these words are not even real words. When there is a real word, I usually draw attention to that, or at least most of them. Right? Tseker. This is a very important word here. And it is the word for Zion. And this is pronounced not with a Z, but with a tzadi, a T-A-S sound, Sion. Can you try saying that? Sion. So Mount Zion, the holy city, part of Jerusalem. I don't think that would be, Zion would be considered all of Jerusalem, but a portion of Jerusalem, Sion. Next one, Eitz. Eitz. Yotzer. Yotzer it's a word that means to create something, to form something. Yotzer. Netz. Hotzi. Next word would be mitzvah. Very strong word, very powerful word. Important word in Judaism is mitzvah, and that is the Hebrew word for commandment, from which comes expressions bar mitzvah, bat mitzvah, ceremonies, son of the commandment, daughter of the commandment, mitzvah. So the root of mitzvah, tzav, is to command. It's right at the root here, tzav, and then mitzvah is commandment. Mitzvot. Mitzvot. Now, to be fair, mitzvot is spelled with a tav, but we haven't yet introduced the tav, so I couldn't use it in the reading and the preparation of this because I created this page myself. So I just used another letter in the alphabet that it makes the same sound, the T sound, but it's a tet. So this is not how you spell the word mitzvot in Hebrew, but it has the same sound of that word, slightly different spelling. Also, I want to draw your attention to an unusual construction. You do see this from time to time in Hebrew. It is not something you see all the time, and something I need to draw your attention to because it may confuse you. Like if you broke this word into syllables, it would be meets, vote, 2 syllables. Now you're noticing that the cholam, like this is serving 2 hats. The vav with the dot above it is serving 2 hats. Without the dot, you'd need some type of a vowel beneath the vav for it to make any sense. Let's say it was a patak, it would be meets vat. But here we have, it's as if the vowel and the consonant have blended together and we're actually utilizing both of them at the same time, simultaneously. So it's an unusual construction, but you will see it from time to time. So you would simply learn the words that contain that consonant slash vowel, the holum vav, and you'd pronounce it. This is pronounced mitzvot, so a V and then an O sound is how you would say it. But typically when you have just a vowel, a holum vav, it just says O. You don't pronounce the V sound of the vav, the consonant. It's either usually a consonant or a vowel. In this case, well, it's neither or it's both. It's really like both. It's wearing two hats. Mitzvot. Continuing on, ratsa. Try that. Ratsa. Or you could say ratsa, ratsa, trilling the R, ratsa. So you're supposed to be practicing your reshes, either trilling them, resh, or resh from the back of the throat. And we want to try to avoid and stay away from resh, where we look like we're kissing someone. Resh, that's the wrong way. So that's how English speakers would say it. That is not at all the sound that this thing makes. All right, following. Okay, continuing on to line 3. Cake. Cake. Kika. Kika. Keiki. Keiki. So obviously we're doing a lot of practice with Qofs because that was one of the letters we just learned recently. So this line is full of Qofs. Remember the shva, it's hardly pronounced, so kake, kake, kane. This is a nun sofit. And if this is the bass line, notice the Qof drops beneath the bass line, the vav drop, the nun sofit, excuse me. I was about to say that it was a vav, it looks just like a vav, but because it drops below the baseline, see, there is no baseline here, so that's a little bit tricky when you're reading on a page of Hebrew words that there's no baseline, then it can be trickier to detect some of these lookalike letters. So remember the vav and the nun sofi look very similar, and really the only way that we can tell the difference is the nun sofi drops below the baseline, but there is no baseline here, so we want to be aware of that. Next word, kaha. Naki. Kach. Kachna in Hebrew would mean please take, like imperative. Kach from lekach, a verb to take. Imperative form is kach. Next line. Kahi. Kahi. Kidei. Kidei. It's important when I'm doing this, you want to be listening to me while you're visually focusing on the letters that I am sounding out. Then you want to sound it after me. That's why I try to say most of these twice. And practice saying it yourself with me, but like after the first time. So the second time I'm running through it, you're saying it with me. And traditionally, these reading practices, I'll go through the whole page, and then I'll do it again and faster, and then I'll do it one last time really fast. Kadrets. Kadrets. Riv. Riv in biblical Hebrew is a quarrel or rebellion. The next word, it looks like I have forgotten a vowel, so I'm not even gonna, could put a vowel in there. If it's a patak, it would be a ra. Or ra. Next word, run. Run. So notice here we have a vav right here in the middle, and we've got a nun sofit. So we actually have the vav and the nun side by side. You can see how similar they look. They look identical, except nun sofit's a bit longer and drops below the baseline. Okay, this next word is the word for bitterness, mar. Don't call me Naomi any longer. Call me Mara. Mar is bitter, bitterness. Next line. Dor. Dor. Dor is the Hebrew word for a generation. So there's an expression in Judaism, dor, lador. That means from generation to generation. Dor, lador. Dor, lador. Rachem. Rachem. Word for mercy. Rachem meaning womb. Rachem, mercy. Rasa. Rasa. Obviously focusing in on the resh on this particular line of text. Ra'eh. Ra'eh. That's the basic word to see in Hebrew. It's the root letters resh, aleph, hey, meaning to see. Rabim. Rabim, meaning great. Probably remember one of the prime ministers of Israel and former decades, Yitzhak Rabin. Some of you may not remember him, but there was a leader by the name of Yitzhak Rabin. So he actually had this Rabin as a last name. Finally, Riva. Riva. Going to go ahead and clear the whiteboard. I'm going to try this a little bit faster. I will not be repeating words in the second time through. Tzach. Say. Tzor. Tzut. Tzeitz. Tzeker. Tzion. Eitz. Yotzer. Neitz. Hotzi. Mitzvah. Tzvot. Ratza. Cake. Kika. Kiki. Kakay. Kain. Kaha. Naki. Kach. Kahi. Kidei. Kadretz. Riv. That's the one missing a vowel. We're just going to say Ra. Run. Mar. Dor. Rachem. Rasa. Ra'eh. Rabim. Riva. Okay, final time through. I'm going to really be picking up the speed here. And again, this is, when I do it this fast, this will be of minimal value to the people that are struggling, that still need to learn these new consonants. So it'll be more handy for the person that's doing quite well. They've memorized them, they've followed through the reading practice, they've done it on their own, and then they've done it again and again, and they've gotten to a place where they've picked up a reasonable amount of speed. They feel fairly confident, and then that's what this last portion will be for, more for that person. But even if you can't read at that speed, which you folks are all new, you won't be able to read it as fast as I am because you're brand new. That's totally, expected. But try to at least follow along with your eyesight, your eye, as I'm reading along, seeing if you can keep eye on the correct words I'm pronouncing without losing track, losing control. So that would be the goal of this portion for those that are up for it. Okay, here we go. Tzach, Tse, Tsor, Tsut, Tseitz, Tzeker, Tzion, Eitz, Yotzer, Neitz, Hotzi, Mitzvah, Mitzvot, Ratza, Cake, Kika, Kiki, K, Ken, Kaha, Ki, Kach, Kahi, Kidei, Kadretz, Riv, Ra, Ron, Ma, Do, Rechem, Rasa, Ra'e, Rabim, Riva. Okay, pat yourself on the back. We have made it through one more lesson. We are edging ever closer to finishing the newbie schnoobie alphabet pre-module. So we're going to be moving in this next lesson to lesson 12, where we cover the letters Shin, Sin, and Tav, the final letters of the alphabet. Look forward to meeting you there. Blessings. Take care.